You guys, I have a confession to make. Hi, I'm Kelly, your tech savvy business mentor, and I talk about Trello a lot on this channel, off this channel. If you know me in real life, you probably know I love Trello. And I still do. But my confession is that there is a new tool that is working its way into my heart and mind, and eventually, actually starting in this video, into the channel. Want to know what tool I'm talking about? Then stick around. Okay, so I'm ready to reveal the tool that I am starting to slowly fall in love with. Now, like I said, it is not 100% replacing Trello, and I will explain why and how in this video. So far, though, because here's the thing, this tool is still kind of new, right? It's only been really out on the wide market for a couple of years, I believe. And, in the world of technology, when something comes out, it's new and shiny, but it's also usually really buggy. Luckily, I'm coming into this one after the super buggy phase, but it's not fully developed into what I imagine it will become. So, check out this tool with me. We're talking today about Notion. Okay, guys. So, I just want to show you a tiny snippet into how I'm using Notion so far and kind of just give you an idea of like why I'm starting to fall in love with it. So, if you watched last week's video, and if you didn't, I'll make sure to share it up above so you can go watch it. Um, this is a conversation where I first technically revealed that I'm starting to get obsessed with Notion. I was talking with Lorena, who introduced me to how Notion can be so amazing. I mean, I had heard of Notion before, but I'd never actually looked into it. And so I had no idea, like, just how cool it is. So, just to show you around. So, a little bit of what I love about it. I mean, obviously, if you've been around here and you've watched, especially any of the tech talks, but any of the other videos here, you know how important the aesthetics are to me. I think that it's one of the more important things. I mean, obviously, functionality is number one. If a tool is not capable of doing things, then it's useless. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. But once you get past the functionality, for me at least, it's so much about how it looks and how I feel when I'm working in that tool. And, I mean, especially as a business owner, I spend so much of my time in these tools. So it's really important that it's an environment I enjoy being in. Just think about your home office, right? When you are designing the physical space you're going to work in, you want it to feel a certain way. You might want it to be pretty, or definitely want it to be organized, right? You want it to give you a sense of focus and a sense of inspiration. And I think that Notion is doing a great job of allowing that within their platform. So, one of the things that is so cool about Notion, but also so potentially intimidating about Notion, is that it really truly is a blank canvas to start. So, as you can see here, this is my content planning board that I've created. I created this cover image actually just in Canva. Just created a little collage there. I stole that idea from Lorena because I loved the way hers looked. So she didn't use Canva, I don't think, but I stole the concept of it because I just really liked the way that looked. And then you're able to embed uh, like YouTube videos and stuff in your boards, which is great for a lot of reasons, but I'm loving it for keeping my productivity music in one place because I'm one of those people that music is a really big part of my life and what makes me tick. And so having something like a cool playlist that just keeps me focused and it's all in the tool that I'm already working in is really key. You are able to embed Spotify playlists and Amazon Music playlists, but in my experience so far, they won't play the whole song. They only play like a preview of it. So I've gone with a YouTube playlist instead because it's playing all the way through. And then you've got this ability to do these little call outs. So like when I was, and actually I'm going to delete this because that was an accident. Um, One of the songs that I was listening to when I was working the other day that was just really inspiring to me. This is a phrase that was really big from it, and it was really kind of hitting me in a certain way. And so I wanted to call it out at the top and just keep it there as a reminder. So it's kind of like throwing a little post-it note on your computer or writing on your screen, not your screen, don't write on your screen, writing on your mirror or something, just keeping something in front of your face. And so that's what I did. And then I've got my social media calendar, my weekly newsletter, a calendar view of my social media calendar. And these all link to what's called a database, which technically feels like another page, right? It's basically another page. Um, and this is a view of it that you can see posts that I have done, posts that I'm working on, things like that. And each of these, actually, this needs to move, doesn't it? Because it's already been posted. So let's go ahead and come here. When you're clicking into one of these posts, you have the ability to, like it'll pull out this whole page and you can make it in columns. You can make this look pretty much however you want, just like any page would. And you could drop an image in there. You can drop and write your like description and all of that in there. So I think that for me, I'm starting to really get into that because while Trello has the description, it's very static in how it works. You obviously aren't able to create different columns and kind of organize it the way you want to. But there are parts of me that are still using both systems, and that may go on for a little while because um, one of the things that is different about Notion is the way they do automation. And I'm still just getting started with figuring it out and understanding all of it. But instead of it being a simple drag and drop kind of automation builder like it is in Trello, in Notion, it's very much like complex formulas. So I haven't gone deep into them enough to be able to determine if it's capable of the same type of automation that I'm using in Trello to keep me organized and keep my business process running so smoothly. So in the meantime, what I've done is I'm still using Trello for like that day-to-day task aspect, but I've connected Trello to Notion using Zapier. And I will do a video on that in the future of how that works so that when a Trello card reaches a certain status that I've defined, it will then push the information over here so that I'm not entering this stuff in twice. I'm just doing it once, but that it's coming here because I do like the way that this interface is. I like being able to see, like, not having a list view. I like being able to see it as like a table. And technically Trello can do that, but Trello can do that only at a premium level. And I'm being cheap, so I haven't paid for Trello. So this is just like one example of how I'm using it. Another example of how I've started using Notion is to keep notes. So I have been reading a ton this year, and honestly, I've only put in a couple of the books here so far because I started this so late into my reading this year. But for the podcast, for the mastermind, and just for myself, I've been reading a ton of business development books, personal development books, and things like that. And so by keeping all that information here, it's easy to access on my phone. So if I'm reading away from my computer, I can easily grab and drag and drop a couple of quotes here and there and things like that. So, for example, the first episode of the podcast, we were talking about daring greatly. And so I've got a bunch of notes here, things that I've bolded because I wanted to make sure that I really made those points when we were talking on the podcast, and then just grabbed some of the questions that were in the book that I really liked that I wanted to address with myself later. Same thing I'm doing here. I've got some of these call outs, like certain quotes or certain things that he said that I really, really liked. And then other just quotes that I might use in the future for TSA weeklies or who knows, right? But this is another way that I'm using it. And then one final way that I've started using it, and I want to say it's up here, yeah, is my hot list. I've moved my hot list over here. So yeah, this is giving away a little bit. I am switching over to some different systems on the back end. Long story why, and I'll go into that at some point in the future. But this is just a real quick little to-do list, but it's like specific tasks, it's focused, and it's keeping me from getting distracted by other things. So, like I said, this is only barely scratching the surface of what Notion can do, but I'm just really enjoying it. And you saw if you didn't watch last week's video yet, go watch it, and I'll put it up there again as a card so that you can easily access it. But Lorena showed us some even more developed templates that she sells and things that she uses, and they're super duper exciting. I just haven't gotten there yet for myself. I've just been thinking about the functionality that I need, and, and within that basic functionality, making it prettier and more fun to look at. But I cannot wait. And honestly, I'm excited too, because there are certain Trello boards that are part of my Beyond Business Survival system that I sell that I think could also be replicated in some ways as Notion boards. And so I want to play around with that idea. It comes down to that automation piece that I was talking about a minute ago, that I'm not sure if Notion is capable yet of some of that level of automation. Or to be fair, if I'm capable of writing the formulas that are needed in order for it to function in that way. So something I want to play with, though, because I know that, Trello's not going to be for everyone. Notion's not going to be for everyone. Asana's not going to be for everyone. There's a lot of different options here. I want to make sure that I'm providing things for every type of business owner, right? So, just our personalities and how we like to do things. But anyways, all that to say, Notion is super fun, and I've completely fallen into the rabbit hole with it. It's a lot of fun. So stay tuned, because I'll be doing a lot more videos on Notion as I'm figuring things out. In fact, I'm thinking the next one will probably be just like hey, how do you get started? Because even for someone like me, it was a little bit like mentally overwhelming, just because it is such a blank canvas. So I will probably do that one first and next, but I will start doing a playlist now, just like I do with Trello on Notion. So that being said, if you are curious about this from seeing it, or if you've started using Notion, or you've looked at it, but it scared you away, but you thought it was really cool, let me know what kinds of questions and things that you have, or things that you are wanting to do with it. And let's see if we can't figure it out together. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated or overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy.